Assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Pakhair agale, ni hao, tuna shumme, washmale, ohai genzaimas, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabiab, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very superb Salima Hashmi and Shahzad Khan on a very rainy morning over here in Islamabad because it rained in different parts of Islamabad, ladies and gentlemen. So Shiza, how are you today?
I'm absolutely great, especially after the rain, but I really did need my coffee early in the morning. I don't know why though. Oh, I don't know, there's this gloominess with this rain. Do you feel that?
I don't feel that. I believe that it's the mindset you wake up in. And
Probably.
you know, yeah, there are days when you wake up and you just do not like anything at all. But then there are days when you wake up and then you're like, oh, I'm on the top of this world.
I know, right? Cloud nine.
So I do not even know what kind of feeling I am in because it's because of the fact that I've not really been able to catch up on my Z's. You know, I've not been able to sleep very well. But as a matter of fact, you know, it makes me happy to be over here.
Yeah, that's a good thing because you're working in those hours. I'm so sorry I cut you
I'm working, yeah. That's the whole reason that I wasn't able to sleep. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that this is going to be our public service message today as well. That for all of those people, I've seen a lot of youngsters these days, they do not sleep on time, they do not wake up on time. But I believe that sleep is very imperative for your health as well. Please do not miss out on that.
Absolutely. Just one thing, I don't know if this is a message or not, but I really felt like talking about it yesterday as well. Yeah. But I feel like today is the day of right. So I'm pretty sure each and every single one of you, including you, Shahzad, did come across a video. Serious, right? It is very much. Okay. So you came across a video of a beautiful youngster in Islamabad who actually was a part of an accident because he was filming with one hand and driving with the other using his mobile phone. Okay. Unfortunately, and this is very alarming, the whole incident was caught on cam because the video camera was on, of course. But it is so disturbing to watch, first of all. There are two things I want to say. Number one, please do not share such graphic content on your social media. I mean, not everyone is willing to see it. I don't know where that part of you is coming from. That is really insensitive. And number two, if you're young, you know, watching this as a youngster, even as a parents, whatnot, set an examples for others of not using your phone while driving. And it's banned in Islamabad now, of course. I mean, if you're smoking while driving, if you're using your phone, not wearing a seatbelt, of course, it's illegal. You're going to get charged. But I mean, this is a very grave issue, and we don't even know how close we are to this.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a humble request to all of those people. Please make sure that you do not share all of these very bloody kind of videos because it definitely ruins one's day. And nobody wants to kind of take a look at a content of such sort as well. The only thing you should be doing is praying for a soul who's actually been in an accident so that they get better as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
But now, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that everybody out there loves art. I do that too, but it is so hard for me to explain some art pieces because of the fact that once I was in conversation with one of our very legendary and iconic amazing artists, and the best, Mansoor Rahi Saab, and the best part is that while he was over here on the show, I asked him, sir, can you please explain one of these pieces? So, and then Mansoor Rahi Saab actually didn't like the question, and then he said that, you know, it's just a stupid question to ask from an artist. What does your piece entail? Because everybody's got their own eyes and their own perception, so everybody who actually looks at those pieces have their own perception about it as well. And then I believe that this is what art can actually do. Art can bring people close as well, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, Swiss Embassy actually back in 2016 initiated with a competition which was all about arts and promoting arts over here in Pakistan. We the people, we the arts. And just a few months ago, we had the same team over here and the jury members over here on the show as well, who actually spoke about how beautiful the competition is and how it's going to be so beneficial for kids over here in Pakistan because they're obviously going to take their art pieces across the borders and elsewhere in the world. And I believe that that's the kind of recognition which everybody requires. So thank you very much, Swiss Embassy. And thank you very much for giving me an invite for the award ceremony today at PNCA. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we have been joined by some of our very amazing jury members. Yeah, I know that people are usually very scared of the jury members, and they really need to be nice.
Sounds scary.
Yeah, they really need to be nice around them. But other than that, I believe that these people are very transparent and authentic in terms of the kind of art pieces they've been choosing. So we'll ask them. We'll ask them about a little recap of what happened within the competition, how many phases there were, and what will the winner take back home? Because creating art and not earning money, I don't think that's going to suffice anybody's needs as well. So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by some very amazing jury members. Ladies and gentlemen, so the first one over here, Miss Salima Hashmi. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm okay, and I'm very wide awake.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much for saying that. But you know, you really do not expect this answer from anybody. Or how are you? I'm okay. You know, so
I'm okay.
Yeah. So the person is like, oh, I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, we're great. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Alongside Ms. Hashmi, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Alexi Glass-Cantor. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Lovely
Great
to be
have
back.
you.
Thank you.
And I like your jacket too as well.
Thank you. Bit of electric blue.
Wow.
For
And it's great.
Thursday.
Wow. What color is this though? Because you know, I believe that women are so nice with color and they know all the colors, because there's burgundy and then there's so many different shades of color. So what color is this though?
I would probably call that like a smoky blue.
I called it an ink blue, probably.
Okay.
Like
Well,
bureaucracy
blue works
blue.
for me. Blue works for me. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by a very amazing human being himself. He's very down to earth, he's very humble, and he's one of the jury members as well. So he's one of those jury members whom you can please very easily, I believe. He's none other than Mr. Giovanni Carmine. Hi, how are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wide awake?
Pretty
Still
much,
working on
yes.
it.
Yeah, working on it. Coffee's kicking in.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and let's get it started. So today is a big day. You know, the entire team has been working towards this day as well. So for all of those people who might have just tuned into PTU World today, I just want you to give them a little recap of the entire competition.
Sure, look, it's absolutely a great pleasure to be here and speak about We the People, We the Arts.
Thank you.
Which was an
I know you
initiative.
guys love us,
Oh,
right?
well, look, how can we not? And, you know, it's always such a great joy and pleasure to be here with you. But, you know, We the People, We the Arts was a really important initiative instigated by the Swiss Embassy and the United Nations Information Center in 2016 to look at how the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which cover water, gender, social justice, environment, and Pakistan is a signatory of the goals, how they could be spoken about with students in art schools across the 5 provinces in Pakistan to think about how a new generation of artists can embrace cultural leadership to speak about the complicated issues and ideas that are underscored by the development goals. The Swiss Embassy and the Pakistan National Council for the Arts, the PNCA, and the United Nations Information Center came together, and in the first award they invited art schools in several provinces and cities to have their students currently enrolled submit artworks under the theme of Zero Hunger. And for that first edition, 23 students came to Islamabad, many of them for the first time, to meet with each other, to meet with the jury, and to be part of a process of discussing the ideas of their artwork. There are winners. There were, in that particular year, 4 recipients of awards, but this whole prize is less about the awards and actually about the process of bringing the students to Islamabad to connect with each other and have conversations. The organizers of the event really felt that it was so successful that first year that they decided to invest the resources in a second edition in 2018, and which was really wonderful. We were able to bring 27 students to Islamabad, and I think what's most dynamic is there's been a shift in jury of both local advocates and participants, but also international peers who have been able to connect with artists and ideas across generations in Pakistan and become advocates for culture in Pakistan, which is so dynamic and rich. And this year we had over 220 submissions.
Oh, wow.
We had submissions from Chitral, from Baluchistan, from Jamshoro, from Karachi, from Multan, from across the country. Really remarkable, amazing breadth and dynamism of work by emerging artists currently enrolled in art schools coming from such different contexts. It was really difficult for the first jury to select the recipients. We were only meant to choose 25. We ended up settling on 34. That is how good it is. And really what was so fantastic was the organizers agreed to bring all those students to Islamabad. So they are here today. And we've been mentoring with them yesterday. And there will be a big exhibition opening tonight at the PNCA, which is such a credit to these artists. To have your first exhibition as an emerging artist at the preeminent national museum in Pakistan is no greater credit to these kids.
Of course.
And, you know, we really, what's so wonderful is that we have the exhibition with the 34 finalists, but we made the radical decision with the support of the PNCA, Jamal Shah, the president, and Amna Patuti, the director of visual arts, to actually exhibit the 220 works that weren't accepted as well.
Wow.
So audiences can come and see over 250 artworks by an emerging generation of Pakistani artists, and we've brought artists from every province and context in Pakistan in the 34 finalists here to Islamabad for 4 days to meet and talk with each other. And that's a really great thing. You know, that cultural understanding for a generation is going to be remarkable. So over 78 students have come to Islamabad through the 3 editions to connect with one another and connect with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe that is great as well, which is why this is what I'm going to ask Ms. Salima over here. How important do you think it is for an artist to have a platform of such sort where his work is actually, or her work is recognized, and then at the same time you get to channel your resources across everybody?
I think it's critical. You know, an artist's journey is really very lonely. There is no one with you, there's you and your work.
Thank you for saying that.
And to find that you are actually part of a larger group, and where your peers are going through exactly the same kind of doubts, the same kind of excitement, the mining of your own experience, and then somehow finding a language and an art vocabulary to express it all. It can really be a life-changing experience. And which is why I think this is such a wonderful initiative. It allows the opportunity for people who are just beginning to think of themselves as artists to suddenly see that they are not alone, that there are others in the struggle with them. And that, to me, is such a valuable thing. And we, the people, are going to benefit from this experience, because we will see at the end of this whole process, when they come into the professional field, we will see that they connect with one another, and they're also going to connect with the people for whom this work is for.
Wow.
That's amazing. Now, when we're looking at Pakistani youth, I mean, around 64% of the population is the youth. And now you guys have engaged quite a lot of them for this particular competition. More than, you know, a recognition of their art, I feel like it's absolutely important that they are realizing the SDGs, being a, you know, member state of the United Nations.
You take away my question.
Were there ideas that, you know, baffled you, that you never thought of, looking at the paintings?
I think that the fact that the content of your work is something which is of supreme importance to your community, to the nation, and to humanity at large.
Right.
And I think that is where the artist then begins to realize that they have a responsibility.
Exactly.
You know, it's not about entering the job market or making money. You have to survive, of course, but what are you doing to make the world a better world?
Exactly.
That is the responsibility.
Thank you very much for saying that, and which is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I'll have to put the jury members under a bit of hard light.
Okay.
And since you know, Ms. Cantor over here has actually mentioned that all of these paintings are in line with the SDGs as well, which we really have to achieve by 2030 as well. Whether we are online with that or not, that's a different story. But Mr. Carmine, what I want to ask you is that I believe that for jury members, we're actually going to decide for the work pieces which the kids or the artists have made in line with the SDGs. I believe that the jury members should have a deeper understanding of SDGs and how important they are for any country these days. So what were you looking for in their work in the first place, so that you could actually relate, or you could think that, okay, you know, this might be one SDG and this is the piece which speaks about it? Thank you. I know it's a good question.
Of course, every question is a good question.
Thank you.
Not every answer is a good answer, but in this case, the SDG, every artist could choose an SDG of his or her choice. And I have to say that there was a kind of accent on gender equality, which is, I think, one of the most interesting SDG or most challenging SDGs for the younger generation that wants thing to change and equality. And for my understanding, a very important SDG is also every SDG related to ecological problem and
exactly,
global
and thank you very much for highlighting that as well. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we speak about SDGs, let me remind all of you people as well, it's zero hunger, it's gender equality, it's poverty eradication, it's clean drinking water, and there are a lot of other SDGs as well. And these SDGs, I believe that every nation needs to work hard towards these SDGs as well.
Definitely.
And this competition is one of its kind, and I believe that it's more about raising awareness It's more about telling people that these are the issues we need to cater to as a society as well.
Right. So this question is a little more technical, not towards the painting side. But since you mentioned, all the participants were coming from different parts of Pakistan and parts someone has never even heard of maybe, did you feel like there was probably a shift in a change of thought of those students, or people belonging from GB were representing a different SDGs, whatnot, or as compared to the people belonging from Islamabad? There has to be, right?
You definitely get to see the background within the art pieces they create.
Yeah, because every problem is closer to one's heart. Maybe it's not closer to the others.
I mean, I think what was interesting with this process and with the 34 finalists this year and speaking to the students in depth is that certainly they bring the context and resonance of the nuances and complexity of the context and situation they live and come from to their individual works. But there are actually things that connect the works.
Oh, okay.
And so there are these sorts of empathies that exist in the way that the works are articulated, which is actually about how do you find a place to connect that is both emotional and intellectual, that can work with the audience or work with the viewer to create a catalyst for the conditions for social change.
Okay.
And that was something that was really consistent across whether they came from Balochistan, whether they came from Punjab, wherever the artists came from. There was a sense of a desire for empathy that came through the work. And certainly, as my colleague Giovanni said, there were certain themes that had particular accents and resonances. And there was actually something quite interesting was that gender equality was one that appeared, as did social justice, freedom of expression, also diversity and climate and the environment. But in terms of gender, there was a lot of young men in the competition who were trying to find a position in their work where they could actually take on board the experience of an idea of reversing gender.
Okay.
And the kinds of situations of suppression or the complexity around expectations or codes of social norms around conduct for women that sit at odds with the equity that is available to men in a particular context or environment.
That's great to look at. I mean, if you're looking at a generation that's going to be the future of Pakistan, and I see if that is the future, I feel safe. I mean, just thinking about it.
I think what was good about this generation was that they were less about telling you in a didactic way what is good or what is bad. There were very few works that were binary, but there were works that actually said these issues are connected to a broader set of issues, and we need to think in an environmental and ecological way about how the social, cultural and political ideas of our times can converge to create the conditions to actually meet the demands of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's great, and thank you very much for explaining it so well as well.
know, right?
Yeah, but then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, whenever, because I came into television after winning a competition which was all over Pakistan, and so, we always had judges right in front of us, and, one way or the other, that one person who actually knows how to please them gets away with the best of the scores as well. But which is why what I'm going to ask you is that as jury members, there might be one of the SDGs which is more closer to you and not more closer to you, right? So there can always be difference in the thought process as well as into what you're looking for, what you're looking for, what you're looking for as well. But which one do you think was one of those SDGs which you liked quite a lot and the pieces related to that?
If you're asking me personally, I think eventually I would go for a work that is truthful. I think what goal it hopes to represent would probably take a back seat, and the work itself, the quality of the work itself is what would be closest to my heart.
So the finesse and the way it looks.
It's truthfulness, as to how it is about an artist feeling deeply about whatever goal and being able to express that in a way in which you say, wow, that is a work of art.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but for us, it's so hard to understand it like this because we're not artists ourselves.
I know.
I mean, we are anchors, or you can call us whatever, or even artists. But then at the same time, when you say this, I mean, how do you see truthfulness in one's piece? Yeah, this one's for you. This one's for you. Because you said it, that this is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Look at Ms. Hashmi handle that.
I think experience. I've been at this for 50 years. And when a work speaks with a full voice and with truth, it really hits you in a place which is, it's your heart, it's your mind, it's your soul, and you say, right, this work says it all.
And you just can't put it in words.
the work itself has words.
Yeah.
You see, it's an abstract vocabulary. It has words, it has a language.
Exactly, that's great. Carmina, what about you?
I think what Ms. Salina speaks about is very important, but I really believe art can bring very complex topic in a very direct and approach and in a very different way that words can do it, and this is what I'm looking for. Art pieces which are powerful and then can
and that's great.
Distillate.
So who do you think, Ms. Cantor, who's going to win today?
Well,
just guesses.
no, we get off the hook, because here's the thing, there's not just one.
Okay.
And what is so great about this award is it's not just painting, it's photography, it's printmaking, it's video for the first time. We have 3 great video works, sculpture, so it's not just one media. And because I'm a little bit of a socialist, we advocated to have not just one. So we have 5 recipients of the award. So really the first award is bringing the artist here to Islamabad.
For each category, you're going to have a winner?
No, there's no categories.
Okay.
So the award is really bringing the artist here, but there is still an acknowledgement for 5 artists. In a sense, the award is an encouragement of investment in giving them the capacity to build some ambition into their work. So there'll be 5 recipients, and we'll be choosing them based on 5 works that demonstrate diversity of approach, conceptual rigor, thoughtfulness, and the ability to really take a complicated idea and communicate it in a way that can create connection with audiences.
Fabulous, that is. But thank you very much for being with us. It was wonderful to be in conversation with you, and may you be able to decide the best for the kids. May you be able to decide the best 5 as well. And ladies and gentlemen, out of those best 5, I believe the 2 or 3 are over here with us today. So we're going to head out towards a short break, and when you guys will come back, we'll actually let you see the faces of these amazing artists who are actually emerging, who are actually working for the better Pakistan, who are actually working in line with the SDGs.
Stay tuned. Good morning.
Constitution, law, parliament, judiciary, and fundamental human rights. Politics, politicians, and ethics of democratic governance. Throwing colors of your own choice on political, economical, social, and religious canvas. Do they have any reality? Or is everyone making a hay while the sun shines? Is it an art or an act? In the battle of good and evil, one just can't stay neutral.
Interesting conversation and sizzling gossip. Life is all about striking the right balance. Horses lend us the wings we need. Health is love. You better look after it. Join me, Nad Nazia, as I bring you a brand new show, Frames with Nat, where I will be showing you the latest fashion trends, celebrity interviews, hot gossip, plus the high-end lifestyle and much, much more. So make sure you catch Frames with Nat only on PTV World.
Hello, welcome back to Well This Morning with Shahzad Khan and Salima Hashmi, ladies and gentlemen, where today we are so proud to have in the studio some amazing youth from different parts of Pakistan who studied the SDGs and then tried to implement them or portray them in different forms of art. Some of them made a sculpture out of it, some of them made paintings, some of them made video out of it, and we cannot wait to be in conversation with
and
them.
the best part, ladies and gentlemen, that they represent each and every part of Pakistan. One of them is from Quetta, one of them is from Lahore, one of them is from Karachi, and one of them I actually forgot. Yeah, but it's perfectly all right. We're going to ask them as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, with us, thank you very much, kids, for joining us. But let's get started. So, the first one over here, ladies and gentlemen, who's actually thinking whether I'm a winner or not, but you'll definitely get to know towards the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, with us we have Miss Muska Sattar. And she made a painting. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, I'm good.
Well, Sam, thank you very much for joining us. Alongside Muska, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Momina Shahid, who actually made a video. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Absolutely perfect. And alongside Momina, we've been joined by Athar Raza, who made a painting and a drawing. Wow, you're a hard worker. You did two things. So you do not really want to lose. You're like, okay, painting works, fine. If it doesn't, drawing. Yeah. But thank you very much for joining us. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Sumaya from Karachi. Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Daru Suttua? Suttua. That's great. We can definitely speak different languages because they belong from different parts of Pakistan as well. But very quickly, what did you make?
I made a painting. I worked on the 5th goal of UN. Which is gender equality.
Okay.
I come from Swat, so I try to portray the society that's there, and I made an acrylic painting on it.
Okay. Well, what kind of society is there?
Well, it's pretty open, but there I lived in Islamabad, so I witnessed stuff that I was privileged. Some girls in Swat weren't. Okay. So I've been noticing that all my life. So I worked on that, and I try to portray that.
Wow, that's amazing, just for you to realize that you were privileged, and a lot of girls from there are not. I feel like that is us hitting the SDG already with one of the youth here. Well, you made a video.
Yeah.
So before you explain what you made, do you guys felt like there was a harder competition this time because it's multimedia, it's not just painting? So I don't know who's going to win.
Yes, it was, because there were artists coming all over from, Pakistan, from very competitive art universities.
Oh, right.
So it was obviously a big challenge, but I just did my thing.
So what did you make?
So I made video on water because, Pakistan was issued a warning that by the end of 2025, we won't have water.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to highlight that because we've been wasting water very much, unintentionally though, but still we were wasting water. We are wasting water, and I really wanted to highlight that so, we can work on that and, bring a change from, you know, we can start from us.
Yeah, but on a very lighter note, ladies and gentlemen, don't take my thing seriously. You know,
I will.
Just want to be a little. I just want to add a little humor in it as well. So when we speak about water, I think that it's okay. Let me say it. It's women who waste a lot of water. They go for long showers, and so obviously they waste water. You know, we men go in 5 minutes, you're out, and you're ready. Women, oh, I'm coming out. Okay,
no, if that's wasting water, I feel like we're
shampoo twice and whatnot. So yeah, that requires a lot of water. Imagine, well, what shampoo will I require, man? And I do not even require washing my head as well. But what about you, Atha?
About work or about
About work, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
what
asking
did you
about
make?
taking showers
What
over here.
SDG did you choose and what did you make?
Well, actually, I'm from Kota, and we know, okay, target killing and stuff happened there a lot. So I grew up seeing a lot of my friends and family members. So my artwork and these things are for my own experience. It just healed me. I don't work for people. I'm a kind of artist. I work for myself, and I don't know. Maybe at some point, the audience get me, and they get me not.
And you know, this is what one of your jury members was speaking of earlier when they were in the first segment, truthfulness, how the painting or the artwork is going to appeal to you with minimal, you know, work in it and with no words and whatnot. And I feel like that is why you're one of the finalists. I mean, they really did admire it coming straight out of your heart.
Exactly.
What about you? What did you work on? This was a sculpture, I'm believing. First of all, I mean, I am so proud to have you over here because I see people being able to make sculptures and I'm like, wow, this is true art. It's so hard.
Yeah, it is hard. I made my sculpture on gender equality.
Okay.
And I modified a helmet, a bike helmet, because a lot of women in Karachi have started riding bikes and I wanted to celebrate that. So I designed a street style kind of a helmet. A really desi one with laces and gota and a really desi kapra. I just wanted to celebrate this act of women taking a stand for them.
And is
love the idea.
Is that helmet wearable as well?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
So I ride bikes. I can actually use that helmet for
Yeah.
myself. But it's great. Okay, just a question for my own knowledge as well. I don't know what that is, and I've always wanted to ask. Since I've got the opportunity, so I'm going to take advantage. So I've seen these videos of you know, sculptures being placed somewhere, and then all of a sudden they just, you know, kind of pick it up, and then it's like a long piece, and then when they put it back, it's just back in the shape as well. What do we call it?
That's paper.
That's a
Paper sculpture.
Okay, that's paper sculpture. But now the question is, who do you believe is going to win?
Somebody not from us, probably.
Somebody not from us?
They're probably prepping for the award ceremony right now, so I guess.
There are so many good, you know, there was...
You know, they were really diverse and contemporary. And people, they weren't just from big cities. People came from really small cities as well and villages, and the work was amazing. And really contemporary at the same
was
time.
very strong in some of the artworks. You know, it like shrugs you.
But this competition has been on for months now. So how many pieces did each and every one of you had to make?
No, we had to submit one piece per person. And you had to submit the best work, obviously.
Okay, so which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to take a very quick look at their pieces.
Yes, let's
because the video obviously cannot be in here, but the pictures and the sculptures they've made. Please, can you take out your piece?
Alright, so while she does that, I'm going to ask you guys, did you guys come across any of the art pieces that really resonated with your idea and you were like, hey, I need to find this person, let's talk? I mean,
it's the same feeling because, you know, just when I actually have a question in my head, she asks it and then I'm blank. So, you know, things like that happen. So, did you ever come across a situation like this? Oh, dude, this was my piece. She's copied it or he's copied it.
No, my topic was actually very different. It was video art, and there were not a lot of videos. There were just 3 video submissions. So I didn't feel like there was anyone that I could relate on a very personal level.
Okay, you found your piece?
Yeah.
Go ahead, show it to us. So it's, is it about?
Are you going to explain it to us?
Yeah, basically, women in Swat, in my village, are considered good women if they know their way around the kitchen. So I used a fork, a knife, and a spoon to basically portray the transgender society, the men and the females there.
The spoon and a fork and a knife?
Yeah, the spoon is it's rusted. That's the transgender's treatment. The fork is a little old. That's the woman. And the knife is brand new, shining, and it's facing upwards. That's the men there. And the background is a merge of all their colors. It's very minimalistic. It's really conceptual. You have to understand it.
That is what I was about to ask. I mean, I love the concept of it. But to be honest, me being, you know, a non-artist, if I were to see it for the first time, I would need explanation.
Yeah, you would.
So do you guys have like a written piece with it as well?
No, the thing is, the best part about art is it's better if you have your own interpretation to it. And if you find the artist, and you have time, you can get to know the meaning of it. But it's better if you just have your own thing for it.
Yeah, that is why you have such a, capable jury, because if we guys were to do it, we're so dumb with it. But they have like 50 years of experiences on their hands. So first of all, it's going to be tough for you guys.
Not me.
But also, come on.
Not even.
No, but is it fun? I mean, coming to Islamabad to represent what you've worked on?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. How's the experience been so far?
Because basically I'm doing textile designing, but my interest is in videography and photography.
Wow.
So I'm very proud that I've represented my work through video, not textile.
I believe that it's better that you guys look for
the
pieces you made and on which page it is. It's a little difficult for me.
All right. So meanwhile, so you are working in the textile or studying textile, but
I'm
you wanted to go
textile.
away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. What about you? Has this been a different experience?
Yeah, it was a different experience, of course, seeing different young artists at the same age of mine and having a diverse concept and everything. It's really good. Like
this, I believe, is ladies and gentlemen, is a thumbnail from the video Momin has made.
All right.
And I hope that people can actually take something away from this as well. Meanwhile, you can tell us a little about it.
So these are the basic shots of how water is wasted in Pakistan. Like you're washing car with a lot of water. You're wasting a lot of time in the shower, like he said. And in the black parts, I portrayed the people who do not have water at all, because I wanted to balance it out, you know, not fill the whole thing with the people who have it, who are privileged. So, you know, to balance it out, to show that some people have it and they're ungrateful for it, and there are some people who do not even have access to
it for granted.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Arthur, it's your turn. Explain your piece.
Yeah, it's me. Okay. My work is more about my thoughts. While I'm doing that thing, I had a lot of thoughts in my like, you know, it was a lot of thing going on with me because the thing with this is I use a lot of like craft paper and stuff. So this is my thing. I have this thing.
What you know,
it's sort of your specialty, can you say?
To me, it looks more like the bull bliss these days. You know, it's very.
But the concept is we see like animals, we respect them outside of like other countries, and if we go through India, they have this specific thing. They do not eat cow, and you know,
sacred to them.
But again,
they don't eat cow, but they do eat Hardee's. They do eat McDonald's, and they do eat KFCs as well.
But
so yeah, they don't eat meat.
But specifically, I wanted to work on cows just because, you know, in Pakistan, we do not like give the rights of a person, and it's like, you know, like a human is more.
All right. So please tell me if I'm wrong. So you were portraying over here, especially belonging to that part of Pakistan where you already mentioned, you know, killings and whatnot, and target killings especially. So you were saying in terms of justice and in terms of empathy among people, I mean, some people just belong to that class where people think they're animals. I mean, they're not even given the basic human rights. That is so thoughtful.
That's more about me surviving and seeing those stuff.
Wow, so that's amazing.
Yeah. We are glad, alhamdulillah, that you've made it to this point as well. And let's move on to Sumaya. And ladies and gentlemen, I love the idea. There's a ponytail at the back of the helmet as well.
It's like a bandana.
Yeah, it's great and it's beautiful. I want a helmet of such sort.
All right, so maybe you can post this one to Shazad.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wow, this is beautiful.
Oh, yep. Actually, I think I want you guys to see the back of this helmet as well, because it's really a ponytail and it entails gender equality, and I believe that it's a great piece.
Wow,
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely love it.
Wow. And it's a brilliant idea. I believe I'm going to do this to my helmet as well. Yeah.
So you guys, congratulations on your work, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Mashallah, mashallah, you all have been doing some amazing work. And I cannot wait to see the other art pieces because, of course, I'm going to take you guys as the representation of them as well. I mean, I truly believe that every Pakistani artist is amazing.
Exactly. And all of you are winners for us, for all of those people who actually participated in this competition. All of you people who were not even able to make it to the show, you're all winners for us. And thank you very much to the ambassador of the Swiss as well, because Switzerland, because of the fact that you've really supported this idea as well, and it definitely is going to bring us closer to the SDGs and understanding of how important they are for us. So thank you very much, Mr. Thomas Scout. I believe that you've done a great job as well. And for all the jury members who were here, it was wonderful to have you, and may the best one win. Yeah. All right, so for all of those people who are out there, please make sure to write to us on our Facebook page.
Which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
YouTube and Daily Motion.
Well This Morning.
And the repeat you can catch at
11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Take care.